Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bilco part number SD709-2ES. This is a handle assembly. This is a particular handle assembly for a particular application. And if you're looking at this handle, you are probably looking at it, well, hopefully you're looking at it because you believe it's correct. And the criteria for that would be a non-ferrous lid, an aluminum lid, and an insulated cover, an insulated lid. What I mean is they make the handle assemblies in zinc dichromate, which is a steel-based material, or stainless, and they make them for non-insulated lids, for standard latches. They make them for insulated lids, for standard lids, for single-point latching, let's start over, for steel-based material, non-insulated and insulated lids. The only thing that changes is the length of the shaft. Then non-ferrous based material, stainless, for single-point latching, for two-point latching, for non-insulated lids, for insulated lids. This one would be a two-point latch on an insulated lid. And how we kind of know that, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the 4 variants that are on that page in the lower left-hand corner. And that will show you, we're looking at the -2ES, the bottom line on that document. So if you know that you have non-ferrous or that you need stainless, the next thing to figure out is, okay, what's the shaft length? This shaft, this keystock, goes back probably to about somewhere in here. They're saying that the shaft length is 5 15/16, so basically 6 inch. So if I kind of guess where that is, obviously going to be a little bit longer, I suppose. So somewhere right in that range would be the shaft length. I don't know how far back in it goes, but they're basically saying 5 15/16. So it's coming in somewhere right in about there. They also give us an A dimension, so if I put my handle on and then measure that A dimension, it ought to come to 4 11/16. It will come in a little shy because the handle here is riding a little bit low. So yeah, it's substantially low. Okay, so it's going to be about 4 11/16. Okay. That roll pin will be driven into that hole in the keystock, and I'll give you those dimensions in a moment. And all of that put together should allow you to determine whether or not this is accurate. The question that sometimes people will have is, I don't know how long my shaft is. Well, let's try to determine what it is. With the only alternate is ordering the longest one possible and then cutting it to length. Well, that's not a great option because you have to cut some stainless steel, but also it becomes significantly more expensive as you increase the length of that shaft. That's just how that is. Determining what you have, we talked about non-ferrous, length of the shaft. If your lock is gone, okay, you don't have anything to measure there, what would be very helpful would be photographs of the entire unit, underneath, obviously, with the lid open. A serial number. They're not always present on...
I'm not, huh?
They're not always a serial number. They're not always present on the sidewall of the unit. There was a time before serial numbers. So you may not have it, but if you do, that's the sure way to know exactly what is necessary, because it will allow us to pull up the bill of materials, or at least the factory to, and they'll be able to tell us every part that was used to build that unit, and then we've eliminated the guesswork completely so that you're ordering the proper item. In this video is to serve as visual and dimensional evidence of the item. The keystock is 0.312 by 0.312, so that's 5/16 right on the money, keystock. This video will help determine if this is what you need based on just what it looks like. There are a couple of screws and washers in there. You've got this thin head screw that's here, and then you've got this other one that's a thicker head. The thin head screw place underneath here where it has to travel underneath the staple. Obviously you can padlock that together, that's what that's all there for. And this is the outside portion. Use the thicker head bolt over here. That rubber gasket, which can be bought separately should you need to replace that. They do fatigue. That's obviously included. When that all goes through the outside of the lid. You'll obviously bolt it down. You'll bring your handle on the inside and then drive that roll pin through the hole in the unit. That's simply how that's going to work. Okay. That link below this video to the document, to the technical drawing, is very helpful because it will allow you to review those other items. And really the only way that they change is simply the length of the shaft. That's the only difference between any of those. And then the part number on the left will allow you to purchase that item through the site. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Bilco products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Bilco, this is their part number SD709-2ES. This is a 2-inch cover, 2-point lock, handle assembly, or any other Bilco product. Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.